Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory, yeah. Don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring, just want a life that is worth every day exploring,
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 yeah,
This is a statement to appreciate all that is vacant. It's just for the taking. If you make up your mind, you can take it. I'm never complacent. I would work in a mansion or basement, yeah. There's no replacement for persistence, it's a patience, yeah. In this life, I wanna be soaring, to feel sun inside when it's pouring. And I'll fight till anxiety is foreign. I'm so sick of my mind's extortion.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah,
All right, here we go from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the corner of 16th and Georgetown. We get ready to go racing here on the traditional 4-turn, 2.5-mile rectangle. That is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We appreciate everybody joining us here this evening. I am the captain, Chris Scala. Kevin England joins us as qualifying is going on right now for the 811 Call Before You Dig Cup Series. And of course, that is what qualifying is presented by. It's 811, so know it's below Call Before You Dig. So those cars are out on track. Kevin joins me right now, and you're going to see there's some technical issues going on right now with the timing and scoring on my end. Some reason, I think SDK, which is the program we use, those guys worked very hard to keep this program running, and I think they've ran into a little bit of a snafu on their end. I'm keeping an eye on that stuff right now over in Discord to see what's happening. So we go call on our good friends at Sim Racing Apps that I use for when I'm racing on game, and gonna pull up their stuff. So at least I can get you who's running where and who's qualifying where right now, so on and so forth. Now, while qualifying is going on, we're gonna have a minute or so to do the warm-up and things before this race gets going. But Kevin joins me here. Kev, Indianapolis, we all know about this track. It's been here since 1909, racing on the Cup side since 1994, the last 3 years on the road course. But we never forget about the oval or rectangle.
Yeah, this is hallowed grounds here running at Indianapolis. Love the fact that these guys chose to run the oval. And what a tricky racetrack. I have a theme song tonight, which is turn, turn, turn. This track is all about attacking the corners. You carry so much speed off the corners to the straightaway, and you really just are trying to get that unicorn corner every time you come in, and especially every time you come off turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, and turn 4, because the long straightaways are brutal if you miss the corner. Draft is in play. It is one of those setups, hearing from the guys that the track is pretty good condition tonight. They're saying that it is 79 degrees, 125 degrees Fahrenheit track temperature, and right now the track is running a little bit free. And what that means is the car is turning when they go down into the corner. It's not pushing, shoving the nose. And from that standpoint, it sounds like they're pretty comfortable, and you could tell by the laps they're putting down, they're getting around this place tonight.
Pedro Mojica might be a little disappointed after last night's race at Pocono. Has the pole right now. He just jumped up there on Chad Coleman, Tyler Dalton, Scott Stenzel, and Jose Gonzalez, who was fastest in practice. As we look at Anthony Calantoni there in the 84 car. I'm going to do some clicking around here for a second and see if I can click on other cars.
Good lap by Donnie Leah there, last week's winner. 52.699 puts him in second right now, provisional. These guys talked about lap 1 being a throwaway. Lap 2 is the money lap for qualifying, so you'll see this bounce around a little bit. Good time there right now for Scott Stenzel, running in fifth as qualifying comes to an end. 52.799 for the personal comfort.
NC811
Number 42.
Cup Series. Remember, call before you dig, guys.
So
real fast.
I'm going to show the points here in just a moment, but I promised something,
lately.
And I'm not going to let this
not
go
everybody,
away.
just a few people. We're not calling any names out.
I want to point out something. So something I've started doing Friday night in a broadcast. You will hear my steering wheel banging here for a second, and that's because I'm getting it synced up here.
You can fire after
You're going
the
to
pace
notice
car
I am
gets off
now
the track, but not until then.
calibrate
We
my
don't
pedals.
need to be speeding up, slowing down, holding the field up, causing bullshit wreck on the restart.
The reason why is
I don't want to sit here and say we're going to be watching this shit, guys. Guys, we're all in here doing the same shit every single night together. This is yours as much as it is mine. So with that being said, the way you treat.
So obviously Joey's giving him a good treatment and meeting, which we're hearing. I had no plan on that happening. Well, I'm not going to be able to show it, it looks like, because we're running out of time, so. So just to explain, basically, here really quickly. There we go. I'm able to mute him finally. Yeah, Joey's fired up, I'd say, huh? Apologize for the language there, but he's giving him a nice talking into, and unfortunately, with the way everything is going right now, I'm trying to get everything set up still right now. Unfortunately, I've finally got him muted. My wheel is all my settings, basically, when it comes to quieting people down and stuff in chat. So, sorry that you heard that a little bit. But, hey, maybe that'll be a good race tonight. Let's take a look at the points. What I was going to show is the trick on pit road. Because there's a little bit of something that can play a role here tonight, and maybe I'll have to do it under caution. But here's real quickly a quick look at the point standings as we enter tonight's race. Pedro Mojica leads David Comstock by 62, Mike Kelly third, Chad Coleman fourth, and Josh Parker right now top 5 in points. You see all the way down to 31st, and I added Doug Sigmund in here because the biggest factor in here, Kevin, in the points, is the fact that you have to run a certain amount of races. So when you look at some of these names down here towards the bottom, there's some guys that are ineligible for the playoffs right now. So you look at Doug, you look at Holyfield, you look at Eric Arnold, and Stone and Ryan. Those guys have a chance to get in still because of the lack of participation in the other with the other people.
It is the talk every week. How many does somebody need to have? How many can you drop? Some drivers are actually planning their vacation weeks on making sure that when they get to the cut, they have enough time.
That is actually a fact. Let's see. All right, so the cars are gridding, and let's get down there to the track right now. They're actually rolling off right now. We're about to go to the green flag because it looks like we had a shortened pace lap. We're going to go 80 laps here tonight, 200 miles. We're going to get our wits together here as we go racing and enjoy the Brickyard, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. You want to see what the next-gen car looks like on this track? We're about to find out. As the green flag comes out, Mojica and Donnie Leah lead them to the green at the Brickyard.
Pretty spread out through the field. Top bunch is tight, but the rest of them out back just kind of left a lot of space as they charge through turn number 1 for the first time. tricky coming through here. Cold tires. They need to be careful through turn number 2. Once they get to the backstretch, they can kind of look up, look around, see where everybody is, try to find a slot, and pick your entry all the way down there in turn number 3. Long straightaways here at Indy.
Our cameras tonight presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online on Facebook and in the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. As you see Mojica leading that train already single file, the first, 15, 20 cars back.
Yeah, double file right now for the 28 of Doy Woods, peeking underneath the 10 of Richard Beasley. That's back there for about 15th. Everybody kind of settled in single file. This is the type of racetrack, Jinx, that can potentially lead to some green flag. So I like to see the fact that these guys got straight. Track position is everything here, Chris. These guys are going to claw, though, on these restarts to get whatever positions they can.
On board with Pedro Mojica. As you hear a little bit of shifting there. Now Donnie Leah there behind him. So going to try to keep an eye on things here and try to move the cameras around as much as I can. In this app I have that I'm using right now, I'm not able to click on the driver's name like I usually can. So literally I got to look over, find the battle, and then go find that guy's number, click on the number to get the camera to come up to that person. As Leah about catches the wall there off turn 4. So we're going to work with what we got here.
Side by side to cross the stripe here, Kevin DeBrown trying to see if he can get underneath Robert Friery III. Entry to turn 1 on the bottom line. He's going to have that advantage. That opens the door for Jeff Ryan. Back there for that 18th position. Ryan not going to be able to make the move. Little loose up off the corner, trying to hold the cart down. That opens the opportunity for Tommy to sneak in there with him. He's going to get nose to tail. The two of them will streak off to the back straightaway here as we're single file choo-choo train all the way down to the backstretch as they roll through turn number 3.
Yeah, Sia Montesi looks like the first one popping on a line here inside of Kevin Stone. That is back at the 23rd position right now. Josh Parker there behind him. But yeah, everybody pretty much single file for the most part here. Early in this race, just kind of getting a feel, letting the car come to them. As you mentioned, it's a warm, toasty afternoon like always in Sim500 racing. As I saw a yellow car poke out of line, that can only be Glenn Campbell. That's Joey Zatina in the 14. Joey racing with some passion today. The inside of the 15 car of Joe Hudson there, the Ford. Richard Beasley there behind him as Donnie Leah has made the pass. And inside, Pedro Mojica, Chad Coleman goes by, so move the 29 last week's winner from Michigan up to the front. Leah looking to make it 2 in a row here. Brian Macklin and Scott Simley started the race on pit road, believe it or not.
On
so
pit road, yeah.
Want to mention that Simley is actually in turn 3, so he's about a quarter or so of the track behind. As for Brian Macklin, he is almost 3/4 of a lap behind.
Yeah, I was just peeking at that, trying to figure out what was going on there. You're right, both of them started the race from pit road. The 30 missed it altogether. That's why he's so far back. He's less than a half track, and I don't know if the train, the draft, will run him down, but certainly those two, in order to get into the play here, are going to need a caution.
And so far, as you mentioned, everybody kind of spread out here as Simley gets tries to catch up there. He's about a half a straightaway now back from the 74 Brian Wortman, but there's Coleman there in second as he's gone by. And Joe Hudson's coming to pit road at lap 5. Unscheduled pit stop this is. Now, if we get a yellow, I might get a chance to actually show you guys what I wanted to show early in the race that is going to play a pretty key role. Do you know about, Kevin, the secret of the turn 1 and 2 not shortcut, but the exit of pit road?
No. I can't say that I do.
It's sort of a secret. I mean, if you race this track a lot, you know it. But we'll have to show it to the fans here. It's something you might actually see as Joe Hudson actually just drives through pit road. Did he have a penalty or something?
I'm not sure. The only thing that could happen is that in a previous lap he got sideways or something and drove across. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what that was about.
Interesting. Either way, the 29 Aaliyah crosses the line. 7 laps in the books here. 0.6 of a second over Chad Coleman. Mojica about 0.9 of a second back. As look through here is a lot of cars just running kind of tight together here. This is a good test for these cars because the Cup cars are actually testing today at the Speedway without the diffuser and stuff. They're running the short track package that you saw them. Well, you didn't see them run this, but they ran it at Richmond a few weeks ago in a test session. Because the rumor around the world, and apparently it's going to happen, is that we'll be back on the oval next year. Or the rectangle.
There's a lot of sentiment to make that happen, as I cannot find any reason to explain why Hudson pulled down.
No, I wonder if there was some kind of penalty or something. I don't know. That's interesting.
Able to get out, keep himself on the lead lap, but he's in the middle of the backstretch. The rest of them are coming off turn 2. They're going to run him down relatively quickly as Jimmy John's Camaro of Donnie Leah out front with a gap. Who would have guessed that he'd be able to run off from these guys? Chad Coleman about 8-10 car lengths behind him. Then he's got Pedro, who's slipped back to third. Tyler Dalton, because of his qualifying prowess, still sitting here in the top 5, having a good run. What a race last night for Tyler. Yeah, outstanding.
He showed me some footage, actually. I didn't get a chance to respond to him. But how close he came to not even having a chance to win that race. Basically, the photo he showed, as a matter of fact, here's actually a benefit of being able, I'm actually showing my screen. For those who don't know, can't tell, I'm actually using a display on my OBS right now. So everything that shows up on my main screen, you're going to see. Thankfully, I don't have any kind of bugs or anything like that in the system here. So watch, of course, now my, what do they call it, the programs or whatever will pop up on me while this goes on. But
I just
Tyler,
noticed real quick,
yeah, go ahead.
in that shot, the 91 brushed the wall on entry to turn number 1, sliding up. He's chosen not to go past Tyler Dalton. Got to the back bumper, bumped him going on entry to the corner, and brushed the wall. There was a little puff of smoke, couple sparks. But some of the strategy here is do not pass the car in front of you.
Do not.
Because if you get side by side, that brings the car behind you into the mix. You're better off running nose to tail here.
Oh, you know, I wonder if that was on Facebook. You sent that to me. But anyways, there was a photo he showed me earlier of him coming out of pit road. And basically, he was right on the edge of the pit road exit when the caution came out. And he was able to keep his spot there. And then, of course, when Tommy Ryan and Glenn Campbell came back to pit road, that gave Tyler a chance to go get the lead, and he did, and he was able to drive away to win that race. As we see back here, Kevin Stone, Mike Montesi, Seth Foudy. It's a battle for the 22nd, 23rd, 24th positions here.
So as this run goes, handling goes away. Tires do matter at this racetrack, and again, it's difficult to get into the corner. It's some kind of a rhythm thing, and I find, I don't know about you, that every once in a while I go in the exact same way and I don't go through the exact same way. There's no rhyme or reason to it for me. This track is an enigma in that way, but the longer the run goes, the more chance you have for making a mistake.
Well, here's the thing. All 4 corners on this track are different. They're look
different.
Very similar. They're all 90-degree corners, but they are different. Turn 1, obviously, drives a little bit of brake, obviously, into the corner, get it down to the bottom, and you go from there. Turn 2 is like the toughest corner on this track. For some reason, you can get very tight in that corner and knock the wall down almost out of turn 2.
Yeah.
If you're not very careful, and you're out of the gas more than any other corner in that corner. Turn 3 can be very tricky, with especially loose on entry. And in turn 4, you can obviously get a little tight and hit that wall, but all 4 different. 79 is mentioned, the iRacing default weather, and 128 right now looks like is the track temp as we watch Foudy chasing the 17 here at Kevin Stone. Up front, not much has changed, however. Wesley Donaldson, fresh off his trip to Indianapolis yesterday, is now up to the 5th position behind Tyler Dalton. And I'm noticing now that Mojica is starting to run some pretty sporty laps. Mr. Tire Saver.
I'm also looking at Jose Gonzalez, who started 7th and has dropped to 10. Yep. He's the kind of person that will take it. And I'll tell you, that battle back there between Van Schaik and the 6 of Mike Montesi, Van Schaik got underneath him. And, you know, when you come off the corner and you're on the bottom and you have to pinch the car, it's hard to carry that momentum. But Montesi struggling just a little bit right now. Van Schaik tried him again on the front straight. He was able to execute the pass into turn number 1, take over that position, and that opened the door for the 2 of Mike Kelly. And here comes the 75 of Stoney Benfield through. All that taking place back there about the 20th position behind Foudy and Kevin Stone, which you were looking at before. Now here comes Tommy Ryan underneath the 3. He's finally going to get a look at Jeff. They're running side by side down the front straightaway here.
Yeah, Kevin kissed the wall there a little bit. Kevin Stone that was, and Doug Roth's going to maybe follow him through. Textbook Indianapolis pass, but Tommy Ryan slides up there, got a little deep. And that's going to hold up all 2 or 3 of those cars. That Indianapolis has an art to it when it comes to passing. Like right here with Jeff Ryan and Roth. Jeff, this is the perfect corner to get on the side to Roth. However, it will slow everyone down when you do that. You want to be able to make the pass going into every corner. If you are side by side with somebody, there's almost like a give and take, if you will. But if you stay side by side with somebody through the corner, you are allowing that car behind to pretty much get the 3 wide move and pass both of you when it's over with. Then people get mad.
Fastest lap last time at 53.315 for Kevin DeBrown, running back there in 15th. Who's shadowing him? It is Josh Parker. Started 31st, up to 17th, and now he's caught a gaggle of cars. And that battle back there for 16th, 17th, 15th, all the way through. That is a tight clutch of cars all the way through up to the 10th, 9th place position of Jose Gonzalez.
Parker with a good run off the corner here. So yeah, he's going to draft into the inside of EJ O'Rourke here, it looks like. And I watched O'Rourke kind of slide up the track, and the nose of Parker was able to get that little bit of clean air. And that is a trick here at Indianapolis, if you will, of if you're able to get that nose into the air a little bit. You see how the 93 is up the track a little bit. That little bit of air can actually get you a run through the corner and potentially make a pass here. As Glenn Campbell kind of stuck on the inside here.
This track rewards the driver that can drive in the slip in a little bit of a yaw. The car goes through the corner. Instead of steering straight, you see the 81 of Josh Parker kind of sideways on entry there. That's what I'm talking about. If you can hold the car sliding through the corner, it doesn't lose the RPMs and it tends to run up off the corner. And if you're the type of driver like a Kyle Busch who can drive the car sideways through the corner, get a little bit of a draft, you could really make hay. And it looks like the 81, as he said last week to us, he's going to start out back until the championship run starts, and then he'll start to qualify. So this is fun to watch him drive through this field.
Oh, hold on, Doy. Doy Woods getting a little loose after making the pass on Richard Beasley there. Now Kevin Brown's going to go through the middle here, potentially a little early for that. He thought about it. Thought better of it.
And them running side by side is John Campbell and Parker and EJ O'Rourke right into this mix.
Yeah, this is all right at the 13th, 12th, 13th, pretty much 10th on back as Jatina runs top 10 right now in that 14 car on back.
Yeah, up front there's really not much going on. It continues to be Donnie Leah out front pacing the field. He's been out since lap number 3. He's got Chad Coleman about 10 car lengths behind him. Pedro is staying right there with Coleman, just kind of following his tire tracks. We've not talked about fuel mileage here, Chris. You have to wonder if fuel mileage will come into play.
Yeah, I don't have an accurate number there either, because of the we don't run the gen or the next gen really on the oval at all. So I know in the traditional Gen 6 and cars of that nature that had the 18 gallons of fuel, it was roughly about 30 laps or so, if I remember correctly, 30 to 32, 33 laps. So I'm guessing this car you'll probably get 35 to 36. Oh, there's a Beasley back at the wall there. I would think is my guesstimation, which would make this a 2-stop race.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a 2-stop race. I have to say, Hudson, with his penalty or pit, has done pretty good. Maintain that pace. They're not running him down. Same thing for Macklin. Same thing for the 04 and the 12. They're out back, but I would have thought that the front runners would be able to drive these guys down that are running by themselves, but clean air, I guess, giving them good traction. Pretty good pace for some of these guys.
19 laps complete. Appreciate the viewers watching us here and bearing with our technical issues, but getting you a broadcast at least to check out. Bobby Tracy, he said big wreck. I'm not sure. I don't know if that means he's wishing for one. That's not nice. Aaron Thomas watching. Susan Ritchie and Barbara Pinion, of course, cheering on the faster pastor. And Atomic Burrito making a comment that Joey is fired up, which we saw at the beginning of the race.
Not only is he fired up, he's passing, man. He just moved around David Comstock.
Hey.
Comstock slipping back a little here in that 9th position.
There's Callan Tony making a move. Kevin DeBrown, he is not in the proper groove you want right now. Is that 13? You got to be very careful not to hit that outside wall when you're in that outside groove.
I just saw flames shooting out of the side of the 13, indicating he was shifting there to try and compensate for the line being offline.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are shifting. Now, believe it or not, the outside line can work a little bit here at Indianapolis. You have to work it to where, though, you are, if you're getting past and you're trying to hold a position, Josh Parker, for example, right there, and then you get off the quarter, you get the draft, and you're able to just pull your way right back by. It's a very tricky maneuver to do.
Joey Tina not only executed that pass, but his Chesterton Ford is on a rail. He drove away, and he's starting to track these guys out front. See if he can run down Gonzalez and Rivera.
Beasley got loose through 3 and 4, had to kind of get out of it there. He almost lost the back end in the middle of 4, and he is going to say, choo-choo. Everybody's going to go.
Down there waving at his crew. Did you see that?
Now, a couple of facts for you. You see that Haviland number 28 car. Oh,
There we
Tommy
go.
Ryan.
Oh, no.
Into the inside wall. He's still straight right now. Everything's good, except for Tommy. That was a chain reaction off of E.J. O'Rourke, it looks like. Got into the side of, I didn't see who the other car was. And unfortunately, Tommy.
10 drifted up.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you. And Tommy looks like, did he keep it off the wall somehow?
He did. He was barefooting down there in the grass. He went down across the lane, and when he turned it right, it grabbed some traction and kept him from...
Wow.
What a job he did.
That's impressive. He did keep it off the wall. That's, yeah. Well done.
He could have easily panicked while he was down there in the grass, and he just kept his head about him and drove it. Wheeled it through there. That's a good hands move right there, for sure. Unfortunately, they didn't know what was below.
Yeah, right?
And he had to dig to get himself out of that. Wow, what a move.
So Tommy
Lives the
continues
party,
on.
man.
Yeah, lives another day.
Saw the 43 of Roth brush up against the wall. Sometimes the drivers come through 3, sneak up against the wall to try and get that turn in. I don't like O'Rourke's car. I see him loose off of every corner.
Which means he's got a lot of wheel center. Probably got a lot of, well, I'm sure the damage on his car is not helping. He's probably tight.
Oh, we got one loose though. Oh, wow. Doy Woods. That was a moment over there.
I saved there by 28. And speaking of Doy, he was actually where I was going with a little stat for you. Some people don't know this, some people do, but back in 1993, when this race was announced, or actually 92, I think was when it was announced to run in 94, they actually held a test here, and believe it or not, Davey Allison was at that test. So for those who, hold on, Doy. That was a dee-di-do moment as Campbell goes by. But so, yeah, for those who don't realize this, yes, Davey Allison actually has run laps at Indianapolis in his stock car before his unfortunate passing.
Well, we talked about the long run and the cars going away, and we're starting to see it. Several of these cars are dancing, especially up out of the corner as they try to square up and get the car set to turn in. And if they've got somebody behind them, as well, Jatina's run is starting to go a little further south here. Maybe he ran a little too hard as Parker and Kevin DeBrown teamed up on him and drove on by. If they can get to, if Joey can just tag on to the back of them as they run nose to tail and pull the draft, they might be able to pull them up. Teammates have made such a difference this year for some of these guys.
There we go. I think we're live now. So, yeah, I'm learning buttons here. Yeah, they have. I mean, especially you get those guys from like either Sim500 Mafia or Team Name working together with each other, then you usually see a lot of progress out of it. And especially when it comes to the front, you get a lot of the Mohicas, the Kevin DeBrowns, the Parkers. Those guys will work with each other until it gets to a certain point. Then that whole competition things comes in. We're going to work with you, but you know what? We're on our own now. Case in point right here, Parker peeking out on Kevin. Thought about taking the position away.
Again, we just keep going up front. 29 is putting some time down. 54-111, fastest lap last time by. Not only is he out front, he is driving away. He's extended that gap, probably 2 more car lengths over Chad Coleman, and just ripping some laps here around this speedway.
That's about a second and a half or so off the pace of the fastest lap for him. Last time by, as a matter of fact, fastest car to track, the Rhinestone Cowboy, Glenn Campbell, down in 10th, or make that 13th, was the fastest car that lap. So, obviously, anybody, it just shows you how close these times are. I mean, everybody is in the 54s. Pretty much, yeah, as a matter of fact, every car on track ran a 54 except for one guy, and that was Glenn Campbell, ran a 53.9.
EJ O'Rourke up against the fence one more time. As these cars lose the handling, if they bang them off the fence, Chris, they're going to have damage. There's no doubt that they're going to wrinkle those fenders and maybe even whack the wheel enough to get wheel damage, not toe link, wheel damage. And next pit stop, if it's under green, they're going to suffer the fate.
So 27 laps are in the book here. Donnie Leah has led them all pretty much here. So I'm probably not going to get a chance to show what I was going to show here today. So we'll probably have it coming up in pit stops. But before we get to that, let's step away for just a quick second. And let's cover real quick Bill King, as you will call it. And we'll come back and get you those pit stops and more racing here from Indianapolis as you're watching the Sim500 NC811.org Cup Series at the Brickyard on the Captain Esports Network.
If recent storms have caused damage to your property, contact 811 before you begin your cleanup. Buried utilities around uprooted trees can make a bad situation worse if those lines are not located before digging. Electric, natural gas, and internet lines are everywhere, and knowing where they are is the safest way to start any digging project. Call North Carolina 811 by dialing 811 or by using single address ticket on NC811.org or the NC811 app.
All right, back we are at the Brickyard. It is 28 laps into this 80-lap race as the Jimmy John's Chevy picking up where it left off at Michigan. Leading this race, Chad Coleman, Pedro Mojica have knocked off a couple of tenths on the lead on that 29. You see Wesley Donaldson having a run what a place this would be to pick up that first win in this series, potentially, where Wesley Donaldson is. He runs about a 1.3 seconds back. Tyler Dalton, your top 5 as we come up on pit stops. Now, I started to explain it. One thing we get to watch coming off of pit road today, there's a bump. As you exit pit road that you got to be careful of. But the other thing is when you come off between turn 1 and turn 2 on this track, Kevin, believe it or not, you can actually go and put all 4 wheels onto the track itself to set up the run to turn 2 to go back onto the short chute, the exit way, I guess, of the pits or whatever. I'm losing terminology in my head here. But a lot of people don't know that. You can do that on iRacing.
I didn't know that.
I was going to show
Just
that.
like when you run the road course, you can come through and sweep up out to the left side.
Right.
But no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, now you can't go do it like in a way where you go all the way up to the outside wall. As we watch the 26 back there make a move inside of Tyler Dalton for 5th. Jose Gonzalez on the move. But basically, you can bring it up as you're watching right here in turn 1. You can almost go about a car width up above that white line, but then you have to bring it back down onto the exit way there of turn 2. It's very tricky to do because if you miss the apex and you're flying through that corner, you will slide right out onto the track.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. We'll see if somebody takes advantage of that. I'm going to lock that in the vault for next time I'm here.
And then one other thing that's different about pit road here is on the NASCAR track, which is different than the IndyCar track or open wheel, as I think that was Stenzel just caught the wall there off turn 4, is the pit stalls. You see the yellow cones over to the right of the screen there. That is the entrance on NASCAR side. So you have to be at speed by those cones. IndyCar, you actually have about 8 pit stalls into pit road before you have to be at pit road speed. So you have a little bit of a window in the IndyCar, which, by the way, you're going about 30 miles an hour quicker than a stock car at about that point. But obviously this car is, nearly 2.5 times the weight of an open wheel car. So it's a lot of perks to it when it's all said and done here.
Pace car is safely tucked over there by turn number 1, Jinx. And one of the interesting things about this racetrack is pace speed is 75 miles an hour. Pit speed limit is 60. That's one of the fastest speeds, but it's such a long straightaway and it's narrow pit stalls, left side. It just feels kind of awkward coming down pit road here in India.
It is the narrowest pit road lanes in all of racing, NASCAR and open wheel car.
I almost hate to say it because nobody wants to see it if you're sitting in the seat, but I'd love to see a yellow and see these guys all pit. I think that would be fascinating to see how they navigate this pit lane.
It can be tricky, and we see issues at the track every single year. I mean, you go back a couple years ago, and I think Jimmy Johnson in the 48 had some issues at the back of the field or something coming to pit road, if I remember. There's always issues every single year on the oval when it comes to racing at this track. So we'll see. I think we're, according to Atomic Burrito, he thinks 38-40. So I'm guessing people have been saving fuel here for this race. So,
Donnie's got to be the first one to pit, running out front by himself, full speed, no draft.
Pedro Mojica did get by Chad Coleman for second just now. So move Mojica up to second, 1.1 seconds back. So I think Coleman's starting to lose the tires or maybe trying to save a little bit. As Gonzalez now is putting pressure on Wesley Donaldson for 4th.
I'll tell you, fastest car, lap after lap, just generally, is Kevin DeBrown. He's now within 5 seconds of the leader. He was 7 and change, maybe 8 before. He just continually picks him up and puts it down. And he's got right behind him. He's slipped back just a little bit. But Josh Parker, I think, this is a question for you, Chris. Do you want to run nose to tail with the car in front of you, or want to come back a little bit so you get some air on the nose and get the car to turn it?
I would rather be nose to tail because I feel if I can get to that point on that car, that means I'm running better likely than that car ahead of me. And I should be able to get a run on and make that pass. If I'm sitting like where Dalton is right now on the screen to Wesley and I'm staying there, then I'm almost going into tire save mode or something at this moment, because there's nothing more I can do other than hurt the tires more. If I can get to where Wesley, or where Jose was behind Wesley, that means I caught him. I should be able to get around him.
Yeah, there are times, though, you get underneath a car and you go into the corner, and we talked about those anomalies. It just doesn't turn.
No.
So I don't know. If you can get the left front out into clean air, change to your entry, watch the car in front of you, and have the opportunity to go down to the white line when they're up a lane, then yeah, I don't mind being tight to them. But if you're running the exact same footprint right in their tire tracks, that makes a little bit of a challenge sometimes, as your car will push. And what happens when it pushes? You have to lift. If you lift, they're gone down the straightaway.
With the momentum. Now, I will say this. You go back to last season in the Grand National Series. I go back to Nashville. Always comes to my head. The battle between Mojica and Daniel Falkingham, and how Pedro was literally able to get not even 3 feet of his nose in the air on his far left side, and you could just see him creeping up on Daniel every time. And finally he was able to get to his inside and pass him.
Well, we have conveyor belt going on here between the drivers that have fallen off the pace and lost that lead group. We have a big cluster of drivers kind of running in vicinity down the front stretch, then a break as the 81 comes to pit road.
All right, Josh Parker.
Pretty big cluster in the middle. Yeah, look at Josh Parker.
Gonna have one of them first pit stalls, yeah. Let's see, it should be 4 tires in field. So yeah, very long pit stalls from back end to front end, but narrow when it comes to the car itself. Left side tires going on. Let's watch Parker's entry here onto the racetrack and see what he does. Matter of fact, let's go on board. He's going to be going, I think speed limit's 55, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it's 70.
On pit road?
Or 60, sorry, 60 miles an hour.
Thank
you. Yeah, that's what I was saying, one of the faster pit road speeds.
There's that bump right there I talked about. That bump's vicious. Let's watch what he does here. He stays down. Lets off. Watch his car now. Wants to slide. Remember, the tires are cold. There's no rubber or anything down there. And has to bring it back on track. So that's a note to take. Parker actually stayed down.
I'm interested that he stayed low on exit 2. Now, the racetrack, smooth as glass. No bumps on this racetrack.
Which is so weird. You ever know, like, the $1 million questions I have to ask and I think about when these races? You get a track like Vegas, you get a track like Charlotte, you get a track like Auto Club or others that are bumpy as all get out, and yet you have a track like Indianapolis that hasn't been paved, I want to say, in about 10 years or so. Roughly sometime in the last 10 years I think it's been paved, and yet the thing is smooth as can be.
Yeah. Doug Sigmund in the grass coming off. He pitted here.
Don't do that, Doug.
Not sure if he'll get a penalty there, but pitted on lap 36.
Probably get an unsafe exit if that's the case if you get on in turn 2.
We will see how he does here.
And Stoney Benfield and others coming to pit road here. That's Steve Ritter, and this is at 38, so right here. Aaron, have you ever been to Indiana? Trust me, you're talking to a guy that the first thing he hit when he got into Indiana from traveling from Florida when I moved up there was a pothole. Right side tires going on to 75.
Here comes your
leaders.
leaders.
Donnie Leah's in. Here we go. This will be the opportunity. A whole lot of them. Chad Coleman coming. Stenzel. Wow, so these guys are banking on being able to save enough to go 41 laps on a tank here.
.38 pits on lap 38.
Numerology.
Four tires and fuel, no doubt. I wonder if anybody would be brave enough to take 2.
No. Not right now. Car would be way too loose if you tried that, especially when you had to fill the tank up. You can't do it.
I just want to say Tyler Dalton.
Well, we know he would do things like that. He's Mr. Experiment, but let's watch Donnie come off pit road. He put 2 up above. Oh, caution!
Yellow! Holy cow, there you go.
A worse nightmare for Pedro Mojica again. Where's the caution at? Somebody's smoking on pit road. I don't see a stopped car anywhere. Maybe the 42? Oh, Scott Stenzel. This is where being early to pit in this race becomes an advantage because of the way this track is.
Like a road course.
Exactly. First to pit last. But to counter that, you got to save enough fuel now. All right, let's see what happened to oh, the bump. And it triggered the caution way down there, I think. Yeah, yellow lights are on. I think it is for Scott Stenzel, unless something else happened around track I don't know about. Let me hit this and back it up a little bit more. Stenzel. Here we go. On board. Boom, the bump, and around he goes. Right onto the road course there.
To the bump, bump, bump.
Oh, jeez.
Kind of interesting that he's that far off the racetrack and they throw a caution, but
yeah, some tracks are like that.
Out here across the grass.
So this becomes a real tough situation for Pedro Mojica, who now, as we're at the halfway point, I mean, I guess this could be a positive too, because he should have no problem going the rest of the way on fuel. The problem here is that he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 12 to 15 cars that pitted.
3, the 04, the 10, the 11, the 14, the 17, the 22, the 29, the 30, or the 38. Yeah, these guys are all going to slot behind everybody who pitted already.
Tyler Dalton going to unfortunately lose out on this. Wesley Donaldson, Doy Woods. A lot of these guys up front, unfortunately, going to pay for this one.
What's really interesting is a couple of these guys who, you know, we documented Brian Macklin, for example. This is going to pay to his favor. He's finally going to stop driving around like he's going to get groceries and be able to race the rest of these guys.
The problem, though, is he's still going to be at the tail end of the field, so he's going to pretty much start half of a race back in roughly 25th or so when this thing is all over with. So, all right, so let's do this.
A couple of these drivers going to do wave around here?
I would think so, yeah. If you're a lucky dog, or if you're a lap down right now, which I only see 2 cars, Stenzel and Wortman, you're definitely taking the wave right here. All right, so we're going to jump in the car real quickly. Actually, here's what I'm going to do. Let's do this because I forget I'm in the next-gen car. Let me go swap my options real quickly here for the shifter. You'll be able to see over in the... And the reason why is I want to actually show you, and I want to see if it black flags me. It's not obviously going to play an option the rest of the night, but for pit stops here, so obviously you come off pit road, and I'm going to hit this bump too at speed real quickly. You see Tommy Ryan. They can't see me, by the way. I'm a ghost. Right, there's your bump, and you saw how my wheels spun right there? All right, so let's see. So I'm coming out of pit road, 2nd gear. 3rd gear. I'm up here. I'm 4 wheels up. And if I don't mess this up, enough braking there, and you can get to the throttle, get a little loose there. I don't know if it's going to black flag me or not. That's the only thing I don't know. But you should be able to do something like that to make it work. I haven't been black flagged yet. So yeah, so you can pretty much get away with that. And then the other part on pit road here, as you mentioned, is behind Tommy here. You got to start braking early here because look, I talked about this a little bit ago. The cones are right here. There's the speed limit. You got to be there. On the open wheel version, you got until about like here somewhere to get to speed. So you got to strategize different, especially if you're one that likes to run the multiple cars. And you mentioned the pit road being tight. Look at the lines. I mean, that's crazy right there. So there you go. Wasn't able to do the whole feature for you, but at least I could do that for you. So yeah, so I didn't get black flagged, and I went 4 wheels above. So.
And then some.
Wave
around for the 10, wave around for the 15, the 30, the 96. See the 41 and 74 topping off.
And Donnie Lee is going to take the bottom here, it looks like, as they're trying to get everything formed up here. Yeah, there's
it changes everything. This is going to be rather interesting.
Now we're starting to get some cloud cover.
A lot of track position.
Yeah. Mojica's going to restart 7th, it looks like. Tyler Dalton 8th. David Comstock 9th. Parker going to be 10th.
Got to be careful on these restarts. Miss a gear. Drivers run over each other.
Geico restart zone here is on the straightaway. So think of like tracks like Gateway and stuff like that where you could see cars tangle with each other trying to get a jump here. Still going. Restart zones right about here. Look at, they're already checking up.
Yeah. Pretty decent start though. Carried a lot of speed, didn't run it up slow. Everybody wound up through the gears, and as they roll off into turn 1, still side by side, but everybody clean. Nobody bashing fenders over there on the front stretch.
How about a little turn it up, shall we?
Comstock got a little wide, that opens the door. On the backstretch with Doy Woods down on the bottom.
As you see back there, the 11 looks like off the track Ron Holyfield as we come back from the Turn It Up segment. See if I can get to the right cameras. There we go. Showcase what happened there a second ago. No caution for it, but yeah, there's Ron right there in the 811 car. Oh, bees. Oh, now caution is out. And it's for the 11, I think. 11 stopped over in the back straightaway. Whoa! Yeah, that was... And then... What? A tide slide? Is that where you're going there? Oh, good grief. So Kevin and Brown is take... Those are fun to do, by the way. You ever tried to walk against one after you do it? Yeah, you better have some leg muscles, is what I'm going to say. Kevin and Brown took the lead there during the segment and now leads this race. And couple things we caught actually when we were talking there off the air was, one, how cool are the camera shots when we do that turn it up segment there, those cars just kind of going through it like an action shot, if you will. And then two, Kevin DeBrown's fast. Now, you see Chad Coleman just go down to the apron like that. Some more things I've learned recently, getting back on the track a little bit more. You actually are saving fuel doing that. How? It's the shortest way around the track. It makes sense when you think about it, but it's like, So, like, if you notice, if you run a super speedway race recently, or you know, run one in the future, and you notice a lot of cars are, oh my God, I was wondering, Parker's going to come to pit road. I think some people learned from last night. Last night, the leaders made a move like this at a caution, and they never made it back to the front. But yeah, if you run a super speedway, you'll notice that all of a sudden cars are saving fuel. They'll all go down the apron and just run down there the whole entire time. You'd think they're doing the whole cheese thing and like cooling their tires down or something. But no, they're saving fuel. Right. Absolutely. Or right or even to pack the dirt, or even pack the dirt in to, right. See you listen. Now, if there's any guy who can work his way through the field, it's Josh Parker and his, let me start in the back, mentality. So, James Boger, appreciate you watching tonight. Kip Cook, of course, joining us. So, the fan club of the Faster Pastor joining us tonight. Yes, good call. Seth Foudy going to get the lucky dog and get back on the lead lap. Yeah, the car's obviously low air pressure. The cars want to almost push a little bit. And then, of course, you got the wheel in it too much. Then all of a sudden it gets free on you until the tires can get up to temp. So, obviously, a very tricky thing. And especially when you have a setup in here, remember, it's a fixed setup leak, which means somebody on iRacing made this setup. And, well, let me know what kind of iRacing, or what notes do you have on this oval with this car? Until today, you had none. Oh, I think he does. I think he does. But let me flip your challenge on this one. At one point in this race, we're 30 laps to go this time by. If you get another 5 to 10 lap run, are you coming back to pit road for tires? Because I do agree with that, but let me come back with this counterpoint. the tires fell off almost 2 seconds. 2.5 seconds in the 35-lap run. De La Soul? That's a great. I mean, it's. I think if you get less than 10 laps to go, you've kind of got to hold your own where you're at, unless the whole field comes. But I think if you get another caution here with 20 to go, 15, 20 laps to go, you've got plenty of time to. Did I turn his mic on? Oh, dadgummit. They said they couldn't hear you. So you've been talking to myself. He referenced a De La Soul song for those who didn't know. Me, myself.
Talking to you is like talking to myself?
Pretty much.
That's a Daryl Hall song.
Hall Notes.
Musical reference, yes. That's him solo, though.
Ah.
Hall didn't have
oats. He had Quaker.
No oats in that one. Green flag back in the air.
All right, we've ruined this broadcast. Yay!
Me, myself, and I is what I was talking about before. We're in pit strategy and I'm pitting by myself.
Yes.
I'm in trouble. But if all my friends come, then I'm going to have my track position and my tires too, Toto. And so, therefore, I think I'm going to be in a good way.
So basically what Kevin said that you didn't hear was that he would not pit. He's done pitting. And that's where I counterpointed with the, well, if you go this far, you got this much wear on the tires, do you take that chance? So we'll have to see. As Kevin Brown leads by 2/10 here through 3 and 4. Chad Coleman up there at the north section of the track. Glenn Campbell having another fantastic run. I thought Glenn Campbell was going to win Pocono last night for a little bit. And then, unfortunately, he took himself out of track position. Learned that tonight, and here he is, P4.
Second verse, same as the first for some of these guys, right? They know track position is key. They're going to run hard. They know what they did wrong in that first segment. They'll make some adjustments.
Looky right here. Let's go back to the 9th position. Wesley Donaldson inside. Oh, Beasley, Comstock, a couple guys get out of shape back there. Looks like Comstock off the pace for a second.
They're still beating and banging on each other there. Wow, Joe Hudson just carved that corner down across the nose of the 10 of Beasley going into 3. I think Beasley had to breathe it just a touch. Look at Tommy Ron running in 22nd. He should have been out of it.
Stoney! Almost. Oh, he did hit the inside wall there slightly. Should be okay, though. No caution. I was afraid he was about to Ari Leyendyke that wall, for those who have never seen that wreck. Go look at Ari Leyendyke in an IROC car at Indy. I've never seen an IROC car disintegrate.
This is where you and I start to have those moments. You're looking at one thing, I'm looking at another, and there's 25
hey,
things we're missing because it's everywhere. The like racing is just incredible here.
Where Donnie Leak looking. Oh, no! He gets into Kevin! And Kevin saves it! Well, that's one way to get around him. And that's going to bring Coleman to the front. Here comes Campbell. And you done woke the sleeping giant. Here comes Bohica.
A little bit of damage, too, on that 93. So that left rear wrinkle when he was laying against that 29.
Which you would think there would be right front on the Donnie Leah car, but I do not see damage on the 29.
It's feeding time.
Boy, is it.
It's not closing time, it's feeding time. These guys are really rolling here for second.
Coleman's trying to run away. If I'm him, I am snaking everywhere right now. Battle of Trans-Service Cars for third.
Picked up a couple Twizzlers during the break. I'm munching them down right now.
Like, you enjoy those. You just reminded me of the one moment. You just reminded me of the one moment when I was covering high school radio in 2006. I never thought about it being a 20-year-old kid at that point, as I'm covering my high school team that I went to school for and stuff like that. And I'm doing color at the moment, and the other guy's doing play-by-play. As Gonzalez about slides up into Campbell, and they brought up wings to the booth. I'm sitting there eating wings while the guy's calling the game, and I go to talk. I'm like, yeah, he almost caught me with my mouth full with wings or whatever like that. And he goes, geez, eating while we're on the air. That's good. I'm like, or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, there's my moment. You just reminded me of that. That was kind of fun.
Comes the 91. Swings down low, breaks the draft, moves down underneath Kevin DeBrown. They're side by side. He's going to slide up just a little bit. He'll take it to the fence. Kevin gets a little wiggle, and I think Wesley eased out of it a little to let him react. Right behind him, Josh Parker's like, excuse me, pardon me, I need a lane.
But here's
Give
where
me a
that,
lane.
this is where that move comes into play. You might see Kelly get a run here. Parker,
Yeah,
a little
that's
bump
that
draft.
draft.
This is where the inside and the outside, when you get side by side like that, it holds up the cars and allows the car behind it to get 3 wide. Remember, Parker has 4 field goods here.
Up front, we were talking about whether Mia had the speed. I think he's got the speed. He's there. Just making Kevin nervous. Right there to his back bumper. Kevin has to look in the mirror to see if he's looking every time he enters. That's going to screw up the entry to the corner.
You're talking about Coleman.
Oh, Coleman, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Kevin's falling back to 7th, believe it or not.
Coleman.
I mean,
If I'm Chad, I'm just looking out the windshield. I don't care what he's doing. If he
Break
runs
me
in the
wrong.
back of me, it's his fault.
Coleman not really doing any kind of snake move, just running his own lane. Down to turn 1 here. Right down on that white line, drifted out to the outside wall there. This turn 2, the hardest part, I think, of the track, if you ask my opinion. You get to like a 4-wheel slide there every time. And here comes Donnie, got a good run through that corner.
He's at his quarter panel. He's to the door, and he's going to turn it down and take the lead. Donnie Lee up front one more time.
A little more space there between those 2 cars, if you noticed.
Teammates, yes. So they know what each other are doing. They're in the same.
Wesley just got the wall good. Somebody else got the wall good.
Now you look back to 3-time winner
He's
Pedro
tight.
Mojica sitting back there.
Sorry, I saw Donnie get tight there through the corner. He was up a half groove. I was like, he's up a groove again.
Again, yeah,
That's
he's
gonna
using
kill his
all
run.
that racetrack.
You cannot, I mean, you can see Coleman coming with a run now.
Let that dog eat, man. He is letting that car slide all the way out of the corner. Top 5 tightening up. They're getting to be nose to tail here.
A lot better turn 3 for Donnie. See right there, look, Donnie's leaving a half a length. That right there will get air to Chad's nose and let him get a run here.
Let him get a good run, yeah. I'd be nervous about Josh Parker back there.
Yeah, he's coming. He's up to what, 7?
Not a 4-time winner,
6.
and he's been getting the car a lap.
He's got 5 on it. If we're going to reference old school hip-hop songs.
I have to wonder if the Browns car has a little bit of damage or something there.
All right, so fans who are watching, I'm going to ask you the question, Kevin. I'm going to bring it to you again. If the caution comes out right now, are you getting tires?
I'm going to ask my spotter. I want to know who's going to pit road. Who's coming with me? If I'm the only one, it's not going to work. If everybody's going with me, I'd be happy to lead the parade.
Tyler, hold on. Good save on his part. Well, even with Josh Parker, the way he's ran on newer tires here.
Yeah.
Pedro inside. Took a peek. All right, Burrito says yes. He's going for 4 tires and guacamole.
I have a nice frosty blue moon with that.
Ooh, nice. Yeah. Peaks World says top 5 no. After that, yes. Hello, Peaks World, by the way. Not sure who you are, but appreciate you watching.
Yeah, that's what I said. If I'm in the top 5 and I got a buffer behind me, as I was making the point before, track position is so hard, I'll let the rest of them scrub you off. You're really going to have to work hard to get to me if I'm out front.
Beasley, that was him that said that, not me. As Tommy Ryan to the outside. Cal and Tony trying to break the draft down there at the bottom. These guys starting to get more and more side by side. Hudson leaning on Simley. Squeezing him into that outside wall. That's not too nice.
Contact down there in turn number 1.
Oh.
Donaldson against Kevin DeBrown.
Carrington
That
says...
might open the door for Doug Roth to peek underneath and side-by-side out of 2.
Jatino was just in 3rd gear for a second there. And
Calantoni
Calantoni goes around. Yep.
And against the inside wall over in turn number 2. Will he draw the caution? He's in the grass. Still rolling. Field goes by. O'Rourke to the outside. Here comes the 04. And he's back on the track. No caution. Calantoni.
I don't see any damage on the car. It looks like he should be okay.
Left side is banged up a little bit. He did slap the left rear.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're talking about there a little bit, yeah. But he's going to fall all the way back to probably somewhere in the 20s once his update's here. But I was just starting to say before Calantoni went around, Carrington said, hard to pass here. You can't give a good track position, only pitting if I'm in the back. I guess this is why I have not won many races in my life. I'm coming to pit road.
Yeah, I'm perpetually Darrell Waltrip. I want new tires.
I'm not leaving the pit, so I get 4 tires. I'm going Dale on you. Parker to the back bumper of Jose. Oh, Speedy Gonzalez there on the corner panel. Oh, and Jose's going to pull over and be like, hey, here you go. or just either going to give me outside tires.
He's had such a tough season, Jose, that he's really not willing to put up a fight. If you can give me a top 10, I will take it. I know that's not true, but maybe there's a kernel of that in that, you know, he sees Josh Parker in there. He's just not going to tussle with him.
I can understand that.
I believe Tyler Dalton will take better care of him behind him, if you know what I mean.
So 18 laps to go. Donnie Lee has led the most laps here tonight. Of course, Coleman's led a few laps. Mojica led a little bit.
As busy as you are in the race car, your situational awareness is amazing.
Oh, big time.
They've seen Parker coming. They know he's getting car after car. They can see him climbing through. They know what the relative looks like. If I'm Gonzalez, maybe I let Parker by and let him create the hole and just follow him through to the front.
The problem you have with that is you got to remember you're on a little bit older tires, and you got to be able to stay with them. Because if you get to a certain distance away from them, that other car is going to have the opportunity to come back down and get in line. And then from there, you're trying to play catch-up the whole time. I mean,
I do believe that Parker has the freshest tires in this group too, right?
He does,
yeah,
absolutely. And he is the fastest
and
car in this
freshest
group.
tires, yeah. So,
yeah, he's only on lap 16 of his run. Everybody else here is 26, 25, 23 for the most part here. And last time by, Parker ran a 31. Everybody else was in the 4s and 5s. So Parker's just that little bit faster. Doy Woods back here with Doug Roth, Mike Montesi. Parker getting a little loose now. I think you're getting to that threshold now where potentially those tires are evening out.
yeah,
Contact in the back. Couple cars beating on each other literally into turn 1. Trying to see who those are. One of them's a white car. Now caution is out. I have
43.
Thank you. Doug Ross, one of them. Oh, one's on his top. I see Charles Van Schaik involved. It's Kevin DeBrown's the other car, I think. Wesley Donaldson is involved. I literally looked up and I think I saw Roth and Kevin just pounding each other down the straightaway.
Who was it that went over? Was it the 91? Yeah, the 91 upside down.
So, let me ask the question a third time. Kevin, what are you doing now?
How do you like me now? Donaldson, wow, that was crazy. It's almost like they got
glued together or something.
On top of each other.
I'm watching Doug here to see if they go over and say hello to each other, but it looks like, well, Doug's got his own problems right now, so. All right, we're going to watch pit stops here first, and then I'll show the replay here. Somebody scream at me in chat if I don't show the replay. I can be good at that sometimes.
They killed a bunch of cars there.
15 laps to go. Now, that strategy you talked to me about a little bit ago, about a certain driver in the 19 car. This could be where it happens. You don't need a full fuel, so you leave fuel out to tighten the car up.
Here we go. Everybody fades down. Everybody pulls back across the racetrack.
Everybody's fading.
That's what I thought. Everybody's going to go.
Now, does everybody take 4 tires here?
Well, and the question is, does anybody stay out, actually? Is there anybody brave enough? Couple cars stayed out. Sigmund.
Couple cars, yeah. Towards the back. Stenzel gets to wave around.
No, nobody of measure. Not that I mean it that way, but I believe these other guys will pit, so.
Let's jump down. So let's see here.
Now it's got to race off pit road.
I'm watching the 19 here. He's going 4. No, he went 2 tires.
Ding, 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 ding.
Race off pit road. We knew it too. This is what happens when you race around these guys too much. You kind of see what's coming. Tyler Dalton wins a race off pit road.
Good on him.
Oh, how did we know? So he'll get a restart with about 12 laps to go. And I think his bed might be officially made now. Let's go back and see what happens here. It starts apparently with Doug Roth and Kevin DeBrown. Or actually, I'm sorry, Wesley Donaldson and Kevin DeBrown.
Yeah.
Playing their howdy doodies to each other here on the straightaway. Roy Woods bails out. Doug Roth becomes an innocent bystander. Oh, that's going to leave a mark. Montesi gets into Kevin. Rivera gets through there pretty well. And Montesi, this is Montesi. Oh, and Jatina and Macklin get involved later on. Oh, Joey's not going to be happy about that.
I think that was just a side draft gone wrong.
Let's just go ahead and say this. Everybody is, for those who do not know Mike Montesi, when Mike Montesi's mad, this is Mike Montesi. Bam, 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 bam. Looks like an AI car hitting you to get out of the way. All right, so let's see Joey here. This is, and Macklin's behind him. All right, everybody's slowing up. Everybody's slowing up. Oh, Joey gets in the grass and loses it in front of Macklin, so Macklin just kind of had nowhere to go.
What a crazy thing. You don't expect this at this type of racetrack.
Hey. Right.
Since we're on a musical theme, they were doing the bump.
Oh, boy.
Down the backstretch. Do you remember that?
I do.
Cool.
And,
that's what it looked like.
yeah, that was the 90. You know what? We do have a second. Let's, good call, and I'm glad he said something. Who was upside down? That was the 91 of Wesley
91.
Donaldson, who went up and over. Let's go on board the 91, as we always do. And as always, when we show a wreck like this, viewer discretion is advised. Oh, boy. So from what I'm seeing in chat, there's more to this story than we think.
Well, you can put that all away because that pace car is about to hang left. Let's see where Dalton's dice have been rolled. This should be fascinating going into turn 1.
Donnie Lee second, Chad Coleman third, Pedro Mojica fourth. There's a barbecue on pit road from somebody. As we go back green, a lot of team name cars right there. Tyler's got the clean air. Can he make it work?
Good through 1. Good through 2.
That's
Here
going to be the
comes
corner
Leah.
right there. You got to break the draft. Try to. Donnie's there.
Oh, no.
Not again.
Oh, no.
Tyler in the wall.
That's going to slow up to 29. Mojica's going to run underneath them.
And another car up. Gerald Livingston in trouble. As Pedro Mojica has gone to the lead and Tyler Dalton's coming to pit road. I applaud the chance taking there.
Yeah, me too.
You follow the leader, you're going to follow the leader. He didn't want to follow the leader. I had nothing wrong with that.
I think there's going to be some discussion about that.
Yeah, I agree. There's a couple
I know
wrecks out
Donnie
there
was
gonna have
there.
some discussions. Well, Donnie was at the quarter panel, and you know what? Let me see if I can get us a good angle here really quickly. It's gonna be tough to do, but I think if I get to a rear chase camera here. No, not that one. Right here. This will tell us if Donnie was there. As we're at 10 laps to go. Donnie's not there yet, not there yet, not there yet. Oh, he gets right into his left rear.
Yeah.
That's I can't put that on Tyler, unfortunately.
He's not that far up that he, just dinked them.
It's just, I mean, it's. I'm not even going to say totally 100% that's on Donnie either, because you're racing hard at that moment. It's a restart. I don't know. That's just tough.
If you get to the quarter panel, you're to the wheel, you're to the door, that's a little bit different. There, he just basically tapped the back of that bumper. And again, when you're in the car and the perspective of what you see from the windshield, it's totally different.
Absolutely.
You can't, two drivers know what happened, those two, but from that shot, it sure doesn't look like Tyler got a fair shake on that one.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that, and I know Tyler's not going to be happy about it. Tommy Ryan back up to the 8th position there, just past Doy Woods after being involved in an accident earlier.
And there's no nicer guy in the garage than Tyler Dalton, so I'm positive that Donnie is going to not be pleased with that. And, whatever the case was, I'm positive that he's not going to be happy that he got in.
Oh, absolutely. And I know that and I don't even know Donnie that much, but just the way Donnie is with his humbleness approach and stuff, and he knows he's here to have fun. He's got his own racing life and stuff like that, so Donnie's here to have fun. He didn't mean to do that. But we're going to have a little fun here first. I've been told that people want this a little bit more, so I'm going to bring up here a probably pretty unhappy person right now, and that being Wesley Donaldson. Now, Wes, I'm going to ask you the obvious questions here, and what your perspective of what happened there?
Well, I felt like I got doored like 3 times. I got hit almost into the grass into one of the times. I get up side by side with him. Felt like I was holding my line and get doored again, and I'm tired of getting pushed around.
That's fair. Unfortunate, obviously, ending there, but how was the racing out there? It looked like, you were having a great run with the strategy coming into play and stuff.
Yeah, racing was fun. It was, had a really quick car. Felt like I had a chance to win. Caution didn't quite come out at the right time there. Kind of shuffled me back a little bit. Felt like I was starting to kind of pick guys off again, but it's just so difficult in traffic there. But yeah, and just ran into whatever that was.
That's unfortunate for you, man. Well, hey, best appreciate you joining us here. I know it's a tough situation. Appreciate you keeping it clean there, and we'll talk here later this week, bud.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely. Wesley Donaldson there, obviously disappointed with what has happened with the incident there. Back down through here.
He went down. Yeah, I'm looking at this battle here for 7th, 8th, and 9th. Josh Parker just got a push from Ryan, Tommy Ryan, Bond, James Bond, and able to clear that position around Jose Gonzalez. They're beating up on Jose. I'm not sure if they're happy with
Joey Jordania 3 wide, sorry. I just saw 3 wide off turn 4. Everybody's okay. Macklin's there, up. Comstock and him door bang. 6 laps to go, by the way. And Doy Woods with a late move on Jose. They're hitting each other in one. And I don't what in the they're trying to wreck 100 times there. They're still not wrecked. They're trying to wreck.
No, they're gonna wreck.
They're gonna wreck.
Boom, bang.
Caution out.
That started on the front stretch and ended over out of turn 2.
Road rage turn 2 with Dory Woods and Gonzalez. And EJ O'Rourke becomes the innocent bystander.
His car is killed. He can't even drive straight. No rear bumper to left side is done.
And
I just saw 2 cars come together about middle of 1 and 2, and they just, like we saw before, couldn't come off each other, Woods and Gonzalez.
This started with a little, at least from where I saw, it was a late move. And I want to see the whole story before I just call it that. I did just see Joey cue the mic up, and that's the cool thing about this program I'm using right now is I can see who's on the microphone over here. And the first person I saw to say something after that wreck was Joey. So, thankfully, the mic's not open anymore. All right, let's go back to the wreck here. EJ, poor guy, he's trying to... Which way's north?
Wow.
All right, we'll just rewind it here. So this starts on the front straightaway, as you kind of commented, and it starts with what I saw looked like a late move for Doy. He's got a pretty good run here, and makes this late move, and bam, hits Jose, and they just...
It was just they were out of control the whole time. I don't think anybody retaliated against the other. It was just from the initial hit, the 28 was sliding, then the 26 was sliding, then the 28 was sliding, the 26 was sliding, and then they both slid across out of turn 2, blocked the racetrack, and boom.
So caution's out, and now...
Nobody. Pit road.
I think if you're mid-pack on back, you're coming. Why not?
Macklin went, we saw.
If you're not in the playoffs,
right.
Why not? Macklin, Montesi, DeBrown.
Can help you here. Some of them probably trying to get some more damage fixed from earlier. And they're crashing on pit road.
Oh no.
Yeah. Montesi, I don't know what happened.
No, I'm like, no, in all fairness, we do appreciate Wesley coming up. I know one thing that has been talked about, Mike is having all. Mike looks like me trying to park a vehicle in ATS. One thing I do want to point out, do appreciate Wesley coming up and talk to us. I know viewers have asked, hey, why don't we talk to people after wrecks? I'm always been nervous about it because you never know what's going to fly out of somebody's mouth. And what I'll try to do is I'll do it, but I'm going to try to kind of set it up in a clean way. Be like, hey, plainly explain what happened, type thing. So Brooks, the ump, I'm assuming he's an umpire, says he definitely right hooked him that last time. And I did see that hook. And I'm going to have to look at that again to see if that's the case. You know what? Let's take a look at it. We've got 2 to go right now. And let me go back.
Yeah, Jose's going to wonder, how he became left, 8 ball in the corner pocket kind of thing.
Pretty much. All right. So right here is what he's talking about. Right there. And the only thing, like, I want to agree with that call, but here's, and I guess inside a racer's head, you're not thinking about anybody else at that moment. You're more just ticked off and going after him. You probably didn't think, hey, when I right hook him, he's going back in the middle of the field.
I think he was still trying to recover the car.
And that's a possibility. So we get 2 overtimes, and to answer Peaks World's question, you have 2 sets of tires to work with, or 3 sets of tires, sorry. in the pits, plus to set on.
There's going to be an interesting review after this race.
I'd say so. So the first car on tires, 19th position, Brian Macklin, Kevin Stone, Brian Wortman, Doug Sigmund, Mike Montesi all have tires.
One to green, Jose Gonzalez and the 93 of Kevin DeBrown got their service along with Charles Van Schaik. They are hustling to try and catch these guys, and they're going to be right there. There's several drivers on pit road, 41 to 91. You would not have guessed in the beginning of this race, with all the attrition that we've seen, that this would have turned into a bit of a boxing match. Rather interesting.
Well, you know what? We've had that in this car this season. You go back a few races. You go back to the Gateway race, the New Hampshire race. Maybe it's the flat tracks. I don't know. You know, we've had the share of racing here, and I think that's where, you know, the comments were made earlier before the race about, hey, tighten up, boys. We're supposed to be the big series here. And unfortunately,
I want to take a point to call out a couple drivers that we have not talked about. Seth Fowdy running 12th.
He was
right inside of him. Scott Simley running 11th.
Started on pit
Right
road.
in front of them, Hudson running 10th. And the 22 of Rivera running 9th. I mean, these guys quietly are just picking and choosing their battles here. Find themselves knocking on a top 10 here at Indy.
Here we go, going back to green, lap number 79. So 2 laps to go, an unofficial green-white checker, if you will. Pedro Mojica looking to win at the Brickyard. Nelson looking 3 wide inside back there on Tommy Ryan.
Eases out, lets everybody collect it. They're single file through 2 to the backstretch.
Leah slides up there, going to try to carry the momentum off too. Rattlesnakes galore.
There's somebody who's wanting to see those two in the front tussle. That's Chad Coleman. If they get side by side, that might open the door for Coleman to sneak through and get a win.
Now, I don't want to be the one that plays interesting here, but I have noticed on the track map on my screen, Tyler Dalton is coming out of turn 4 right now as they come to the white flag. I'm just pointing it out for reasons. I'm not trying to start something here.
Mike Kelly had.
Oh, they're wrecking. Cautions out. Brian Macklin into the wall. Mike Montesi, Joey Jatina. They did not take the white.
Green white checker. Number 1 of 2.
A little DYK for those who don't know. The first NASCAR green white checker finish outside of an all-star race happened at this race in 2004.
It almost looks like Joey's car was in a lazy high groove slide and just kept going left coming off that corner.
Montesi's got a broken car, unfortunately.
Yeah, Jatina car left front is destroyed. I think he's got a broken toe link. So the 14 is wounded.
Yeah, they just kind of got into each other there. Nice miss by Stenzel. Wortman and Montesi nowhere to go. Jeff Ryan nowhere to go. And now the beds are made. You're not pitting at all now. I can agree with you finally.
Yeah. Well, would this be interesting? If I'm Pate, I just am not a happy camper, right? How many times do you get a shot at getting a clean restart, breaking out? You have the opportunity to make a mistake. If you're out by a couple car lengths, you're looking over to the right at the indication marker saying, please, no yellow. Please, no yellows. And when you see it...
Where's Pedro? Oh, he's up ahead. Or...
He's way ahead. Now he's slowing down. You don't know what he was doing there.
I wonder if maybe... Oh, you know what? He had an issue last night. I hope it did not happen again. Because I learned last night he had some kind of issue with his wheel. And what he didn't do was stop the car before, and the wheel came unplugged, and he hung a left and hit the wall. I wonder if that just happened again, but this time he learned last night, stop the car. So instead of falling back behind, he went up ahead and just stopped. Which I'm sure somebody will be not happy about.
Yeah, I don't think they'll get fussy over that.
So 5 cautions in the race. Appreciate all the viewers who have stuck around. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. As we're pretty much broadcasting each and every night of the week. The last night I have not broadcasted now. I got to think about this one. Might have been not this past Saturday, but last Saturday, maybe. My point's to get the stream up and running every night now. For something. Even if it's Kevin karaoke.
Which I did a lot of in Massachusetts.
And you still do probably. Don't say did. You know, if
trying to make notes of songs I can possibly sing and not. There's got to be some out there.
Yes, thank you, Aaron.
It's funny, I was just having that conversation with my wife. Do you know of any songs I could sing where people won't howl?
Well, I always joke around and say my favorite karaoke song is the song Sandstorm by Darude. It's an old, I think, late 90s song. It's an EDM type of song from the 90s. There's not a single word in the song.
Ah.
Right.
Do you go like...
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. The last time I did a karaoke, I remember the exact time it was. It was 2012. I was in Indiana, and it was for a birthday party for someone. And I remember the receptionist who worked for us said, "Hey, I'm going to pick your song." I'm like, "Oh, God, this is going to go bad." And then Cisco came on, and I was like, "Yep, this just went bad." All right, going to come to the green. And if they make it back, we'll get the white flag. If not, checkered flag. It is Sim500 overtime. We get 2 attempts at it. Mojica, Donnie Leah, Chad Coleman. Yeah, that is correct, Aaron. Glenn Campbell, Mike Kelly are top 5.
We got to pick a car. If they win, you're going to sing that.
Oh, Doug Roth.
Here he comes for the win. Boy, are they tight. Slow start. Green flag is out. Everybody comes through the gears.
Good jump for Pedro.
This is going to be interesting.
Oh, Donnie almost shut the door on Coleman. Bizaire leaning on each other.
Turn 2 is going to be even better. They are shoulder to shoulder here through some of these corners.
Campbell trying to hold off Parker, does so.
Nice job, Campbell. He's got a good run, too.
As Josh Parker looking inside Tommy Ryan. Richard Beasley there. Oh, Beasley shot down in front of Rivera. I thought he was wrecking for a second the way that camera looked.
He almost did that, like, slingshot down the...
Oh, Beasley way loose. Nice save.
Wow. How did he save that? Here they come back to the line.
They got to it. 1 lap to go for Pedro Mojica or Donnie Leah or someone else.
Now what's Donnie going to do? How's he going to get this pass? He's way up high, got loose. That's going to hurt him.
They both got loose actually there. That might have worked out even. Donnie's been good here in 2. He's sliding.
I'm going to say forking him.
Mojica, good run down the back straightaway.
4 car lengths into turn number 3 for the last time. Leah's got a good charge. He's right down on the bottom. He's picked up a lot of speed. Closed another car length. Through turn number 4, he's still on a run here, but I don't know if he's got enough, Chris.
Pedro Mojica going to bring it off turn number 4. He said he wanted more wins this season. Well, how about this one? The Brickyard to Pedro Mojica.
I'm envisioning that shot where they come into the start-finish line.
Right. I was trying to get that shot. I have a way to do. Usually I could set it up on the other cameras, but here I'm like, I think it's that camera right there that does it.
What a race.
Donnie Leah, Chad Coleman, Glenn Campbell with a top 5. Good bounce back from last night. And Mike Kelly. Yeah, the only part about that camera that we don't have is the part where it zooms in on the checkered flag guy. And now we got cars beating the tar out of each other.
At the end.
What's that?
Now they're piling into each other here over in turn 3. Looks like a demo derby.
Right? Ooh, that's going to leave a mark.
There's hoods and bumpers. And,
There's a junkyard.
Well, how about that race? Boy, that had a little bit of everything in it.
Pedro's violating rules already. Yesterday, I actually saw the sheet on Twitter. NASCAR had put out a post to all the drivers and crew chiefs and said no burnout on the bricks.
On the bricks, yeah. They were yelling at him. Don't burn out on the bricks. Don't. They told him like 4 times.
Like what are you going to do for him burning out? Are you going to disqualify the guy because he burns out on 3 feet of a road? Come on. And then I saw somebody post out something yesterday, nothing sweeter than kissing the bricks. I'm sorry, but that guy must be single.
Oh, man.
Is that a target circle? That's pretty impressive.
That is like...
That's a good
He
burnout.
did it with a compass.
That's a good burnout.
I think he did it with a compass.
He stuck the thing in the middle of it and spun around it. Good times. Hey, real quick, let's step away and let's hear from our sponsors, 811. Let's get them their spot in here as you're watching the Sim500 NC811 Cup Series from the Indy on the Captain Esports Network.
If recent storms have caused damage to your property, contact 811 before you begin your cleanup. Buried utilities around uprooted trees can make a bad situation worse if those lines are not located before digging. Electric, natural gas, and internet lines are everywhere, and knowing where they are is the safest way to start any digging project. Call North Carolina 811 by dialing 811 or by using single address ticket on nc811.org or the NC811 app.
All right, back we are here at Indianapolis. Pedro Mojica has gone to victory lane. As we'll leave the timing and scoring over there on the left side of the screen and let you see who finished where here tonight in this race as Mojica goes to victory lane. And we'll extend that points lead as we're coming up on the playoffs, by the way. Just a few more races to go. I know the playoffs are going already on the Grand National side, but that's more with football season coming around the corner. Obviously, the season's a little bit shorter than the Cup side of things. So, Mojica going to celebrate as I'm looking real quickly at the numbers. We have 3 races before the playoffs. Chicago next week, Kentucky, and then Daytona for the final race before the playoffs get here when it's all said and done. So, Mojica, 4 wins on the season, becomes the second 4-time winner alongside Josh Parker. So Parker said, or I said, the 58 wanted more wins, and he got it. And I don't know if I'm supposed to announce this, but I'm going to for the fact of drama. Doy Woods has been called to the hauler. Anyways, I'm just looking in admin chat. Let's talk to our third place finisher, Chad Coleman. Oh, so close. If I can get anything to cooperate with me here tonight, it'll be great. As Chad, here we go. Let's get him up here in the booth with us. Great run for you here at Indianapolis. Third place finish came ever so close there. You, a smidgen away from second. Doy was right there on top of you and was able to hold you off to a third place finish.
That was Donnie.
That was Donnie. I said Doy. I'm sorry. I'm distracted because I noticed Doy was in a chat right now.
Yeah, Doy's in the chat.
It was Donnie, though.
Yeah, man, me, Donnie, and Pedro ran first, second, or third in some order the whole race. So it's kind of, I'm glad it kind of came down with the three of us still finishing up there. But we had some moments. Like Donnie and Kevin had a moment, and I led some laps. I was still tight on fuel, so I was still, trying to lead, go as fast as I could, and save a little fuel. So it was made it really easy for Donnie to get back by me. And then a caution come out, of course, and I lost a spot to Pedro on the restart. And then when Donnie and Tyler got together on one of the last restarts right there, I should have been in position, but I wasn't because I gave up that spot to Pedro on the restart. But overall, pretty good race. I've struggled as of late with finishing, but I mean I qualified pretty good, and I think qualifying for me is just I got to work on qualifying. If I suck in qualifying, most of the time I get back there with the squirrels and get my nuts cut off. So
that's a line right there.
I got to get better with qualifying, and tonight I qualified good. I mean, it kind of shows what the track was tonight. I mean, you got to look, top three in qualifying, run first, second, third the whole race. It wasn't a very good race probably for anybody to watch. It was tough for us to drive just because you had to fight Arrow all night. Arrow was king, and man, if you were that second car in line, it was tough. If you were that third car in line, it was real tough. So in that aspect, I'd give you a shout out to Josh Parker. Dude, he's good. Starting in the back, coming through traffic. It's gonna be hard to beat him once he starts to qualify.
Yeah,
and
that's a fair point.
Tommy and all those guys, just everybody with team name that down there to chat with us and make it all fun and give us something to talk to and somebody to talk about. But got to thank all of them and thank Trey Idson for ripping this paint scheme for me. I don't know who painted it, but they done a really good job. Trey done a good job of ripping it and put my name and number on it. And thank you for broadcasting, and thank Joey for telling us all how to drive and then going out there and showing us not what to do.
Yeah, we all do that sometimes. Yeah, so I do got one other thing before I let you go here, because I know you covered everything right there. Can you try to explain for those who have not ran here at Indianapolis on iRacing, just how these corners are so different? I mean, turn two, you're almost sliding like the surface is completely different than the other three corners.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like turn one is kind of, with most cars, this one don't really seem to like it, but with most cars it likes a shallow entry. You get down there, hug, use the little bit of an apron you got to help turn the car. This car is not a fan of that. I don't know if something is bottoming out under it or whatnot, but if you don't hit it just right, it will turn you sideways in a heartbeat. It'll just hook the car. And then turn two, of course, you drive it straight across there as you can and use whatever you can, because that exit's really tight. So the entry looks really inviting, but the exit's really tight off of two. And then turn three, it looks just like turn one, drives completely different. And then turn four to me just seems to, you can arc it in off the wall, turn it to the bottom, and let it ride out. And you got a lot easier, softer exit than you do off of two. That's about the best I can do to explain that.
That makes sense. I mean, no, it's I mean, and I'm sure everybody's going to have a different opinion about it, but no, still great race. You gave your shout outs, I think. Do you have any more by chance, or?
How about? Yeah, we gotta thank the 811 for sponsoring this deal also. So we give a shout out to them, and like I've said earlier, thank you for broadcasting this. I don't know if this one will be worth watching. It might be worth watching. We might watch some of those cautions in the last 20-25 laps. We might do that here in a minute. You're invited.
Oh, we're always in for this. As long as there's beer and food, we're good.
Yeah, it's a BYOB.
That sounds good to me, man. Hey, great job finishing third.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
All right, so hey, yeah, it's been a long day.
Yeah.
Chad Coleman finishes third. What's the quote about a bear you said earlier? The bear's
sometimes the bear's going to eat you. Yeah,
he definitely did today. So Chad Coleman finishes third, and Donnie Leah finishes second. Unfortunately, he kind of kills the streak of the winning streak he potentially had coming, but Donnie obviously comes up a little bit short. Kev, we'll let you talk to him.
Yeah, Donnie, just kind of taking it all in. That was intense, Donnie, all the way through. Let's take it through. We'll start with the finish. Coming down right behind Pedro into turn number 1, it seems like the race was lost in 2, but that started in turn number 1 with a little slip.
Yeah, no, the race was lost after when I got into Tyler. Yeah, so I apologize to Tyler. Bad move on my part, and just turned him, and at that point, I didn't really deserve to win the race at that point. But that's how Pedro got out front, and the air is just everything with these cars. Apparently, I mean, last few weeks this has been. Well, Michigan wasn't that bad, but if you're out front here, man, it's a big deal. So, but hats off to Pedro. He made no mistakes there at the end, and won him the race. And I mean, I turned my teammate Kevin DeBrown. I turned Tyler Dalton. I got into a few guys tonight and just made some mistakes. And but anyway, yeah, it was exciting.
Is that just driving the car too hard? What do you attribute that to?
No, it was just extremely hard to pass. So any little bit of run that I got, if I was in traffic and behind guys, I kind of had to take it, and some of it wasn't even really, you're not really there, but you're close, and if you show the nose, it might make something happen, so you try to do that. But I left not enough room between Kevin and myself, Kevin and Tyler and me. Just not enough room there. I just didn't leave enough gap. So and it caused those issues. But either way, though, exciting finish. I mean, I all but wrecked the 1 and 2 in the last lap, and
yeah. You were looking out over the right fender coming out of 2.
Yeah.
The car was. You look like a sprint car going through there.
Yeah, it was all I had. The runs on the straightaways were just minimal. So you more push the guy away from you, than get a run. So you needed to try and get to someone's left rear, rolling through the middle of the corner. So that's what I was doing, but I overdrove it, and it was fun though. And I wanted to win at Indy. Something about this track, everybody loves this place, and obviously it's special. So even in sim racing, you want to do good here. So I was trying real hard, but fun night. Apologize to Kevin and Tyler again. Thank you guys for covering everything, and Joey for doing this, and Call Before You Dig. Everybody sponsors everything. It's a lot of fun. Luckily, I was able to make 2 weeks in a row, so I'm excited about that, and hopefully be here next week.
Yeah, I have to say, for what it's worth, when you go back and watch the race, you were out front a lot. Led a lot of laps tonight. That had to feel good. You were running some of the fastest laps out front too when you were out there. Nobody closing in. So you've been hooked up the last couple of weeks, and I'm excited to see what you have for the rest of the season.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it, man. The car was good. Out front, it's just key, and plus I had a good feel for the car tonight and the racetrack, so definitely getting around well. So when I got out front, it was kind of like in control of the pace and the race, and I really was riding 75%, max when I was out front anytime tonight. So if I could have stayed there, definitely had a shot to win. But you got to make no mistakes. These races are hard to win. A lot of these guys in this deal are top guys, and you make a mistake here or there, and that's it. That's your night. So you got to just be perfect to win these things. But thanks again, guys. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yep. Donnie Leah, second place finish. Jimmy John's Camaro having a bunch of really good runs when he shows up. And forward to seeing you next week. Thanks, Donnie, for taking the time.
Really appreciate it. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Chris. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Freaky fast is Donnie Leah. So great job on his finish here tonight. And, lo and behold, who comes to victory lane is he gets to park his car there in victory lane, get raised up the little thingamajiggy, and get put on stage at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And we bring up the winner now as Pedro joins us here, and Pedro leaves us just as quick as he joins us. He was here for a second. Did I move him to the wrong channel? There he is. He's back. Pedro joins us here as we get him set up there with a microphone and stuff, man. Pedro, great job here tonight. Obviously, man, man, I don't want to say the race fell into your lap there because you were running up front. But obviously the contact, Tyler and Donnie get together there, gives you the track position, and for there it was kind of say sail out and go get it.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right, Chris. The way the the way the race was, man, it was just hard to pass. Um, I just wasn't. I don't know. I went too easy to start the race, and I lost the lead. And I figured, well, if I kind of chill here, I might be okay. But just was kind of stuck there. And then we also had a concern with fuel, so I was like, well, if I'm back here, I might as well start saving. So about halfway through that run, I swapped the fit. But yeah, I mean, it was tough, man. Like kind of that whole race, I kind of saw like how hard it was to pass. So like when that incident happened between Donnie and Tyler, and Donnie checked up so much, I just pounced all over it because I knew that was going to be my only shot. Because Donnie's good, man. He's really fast, and then that's the thing is like he can really push the car to the limit. And then with the way the aero and stuff works, that eventually, like even if he pushed harder than you, the aero kind of compromised the guy behind you. So so that was important. That was, I would say, like you said, it kind of fell in my lap. But I mean, in order for things like that to happen, you got to be running up front. And honestly, man, for the last month and a half, we've had the pace. We could have won every race, to be honest, but we just didn't have things go our way, which is the unfortunate part of racing. Is very cyclical, right? So we had a lot of things not go our way. And so I think tonight's just kind of making up for the last month. So hopefully that means, we're turning things back on the right foot, and we'll be running up front and getting top fives and wins here, going into the playoffs and through the playoffs.
Well, you said to me, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, that you wanted more wins. And here you are now. I mean, this could be the perfect time to kick off some momentum, as you said, winning a race like Indianapolis to kick off what could be a championship run.
Yeah, I hope so, Chris. I mean, we've had the pace all year.
Right.
That's the thing. We've been fast all year. I think our qualifying shows it, and then most of the races, show it. But just unfortunate things happen, just things out of my control. I mean, getting spun out on lap 3 at Pocono in the lead, like, I mean, there's not a lot of things you could do about that, right? And then New Hampshire, we had 100 cautions, so it came down to who gambled at the right time. Like, there's just things like that. So those things, those are going to be the tough things, if hopefully our league can kind of clean up the yellows a little bit on Monday nights. I think tonight was okay. I think we could do better as a group on Monday, so I'm hoping we can clean that up moving forward. So it's just more straight up racing and not so much like guessing when to take tires, when not to take tires, and whatnot. So, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm hoping, tonight is kind of a catapult into the rest of the year. We get back on our groove and finishing up front.
So let me ask this question. Going back to, you made the comment there about the racing cleaning up. I mean, you think of some of the tracks we've had the issues at. Obviously, New Hampshire you brought up. You think of Gateway, which, yeah, we were there. And, of course, now here Indianapolis. Is that a factor of it being a track position race that maybe picks up the intensity that causes this?
Yeah, that's for sure. I think everybody knows it's hard to pass. Everybody's relatively close on speed. And then the aero just kind of equalizes everybody, honestly. So it's just hard to do anything. So I think that's why you see a lot of the somewhat aggressive moves. I think, like I said, I think tonight was okay. There at the end, it got a little messy, which was unfortunate. The one yellow right at the end of the race, you kind of know what's going to happen, right? Everybody, the intensity ratchets it up, and it just doesn't matter what league or what race you're in. Usually it's going to be more yellows. But yeah, it's just a car. Like some of the races, the car was a challenge to drive, so it was real easy to overcook entry and kill the guy in front of you or something like a New Hampshire. So that happened a lot. And then like Pocono and here, it's hard to get away because of the draft. And some people just get really aggressive with the side draft, which you don't need to with this car. You could be half a car width away from somebody and still side draft them. So, but yeah, I think, like you said, it's just the way the car is. Everybody kind of knows, like, it's all about track position and staying up front and keeping your track position. So I think people are just racing hard to either get it or keep it.
Well, it worked out for you here tonight, and you go to victory lane for the 4th time, and to kind of add on to his numbers that he said here, leads the league in polls, believe it or not, leads the league in wins, leads the league in top 5s, top 10s, bonus points, and probably hamburgers eaten. I don't know, I just came up with that one. Yeah, you're pretty much doing everything right to be the points leader by 73 going into next week's race. So great job, send some shout outs whoever you like to.
Yeah, actually, I was gonna say I think I'm tied with Josh. Josh has got about as many wins as I do. So, and then David's close. So we're all playing musical chairs, I guess, with race wins. So
you get a win. You get a win. You get a win.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, no shout out to you, Chris and Kevin, for putting on the broadcast, Captain Esport. I appreciate everything you guys do. Missed you guys on Monday nights. It's been a while, so I'm glad I get to come back and interview with you guys. I appreciate Trans Service and Glenn Campbell for giving me this opportunity. I'm glad to represent the brand and put in a victory lane tonight. Max Graphics for painting the car. Appreciate them. NC811, Call Before You Dig. I appreciate them and everything they do for the league, for sponsoring and everything they sponsor. Appreciate them a lot. All the admins at Sim500, appreciate everything they do. They deal with a lot, so appreciate them for their patience and trying to keep the league fun. All the guys on Team Name, we all ran really good up front. We were all pretty fast, so just again, for between us, it all came down to who had the track position at the right time. But shout out to those guys. We always work really well together. And then yeah, shout out to the family. Appreciate them for letting me come and hang out for a couple hours.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, great job tonight. Congratulations.
All right, no, I appreciate it, guys. I'm going to enjoy this nice cold brew.
Sounds good to me, man. And Pedro Mujica extends his lead to 73 points over David Comstock. As you see on the screen, Mike Kelly still third. The top 6 all stay the same. Richard Beasley moves up 2. Doy Woods up 2. Dalton down 1. Wesley Donaldson, unfortunately, down 4 spots. That's going to hurt him a little bit. And you look down at the bubble, Joe Hudson jumps Doug Roth now and has 13 points over Roth there in 21st. Glenn Campbell's right there, Friery, and again, you get 4 races to miss. So E.J. O'Rourke, Bentley Glazier, Donnie Leah, Scott Stenzel, those guys, unfortunately, out of the running. So, Kev.
Well, you have that up. Points. You're looking at Pedro Mujica incidents, 51.
Yeah.
I think that tells quite a bit there. When you look at the incidents that these guys been involved in, clean races end up with lots of points. Pedro's doing an outstanding job.
And how you do that? You stay up front.
Yes.
I mean, Chad kind of said it in a interesting way, but he's very true. Yeah, you got to stay. The racing gets tough when you're in the middle of the pack. And when you get back there, because you got guys making moves and that kind of thing, or might not be so experienced, or whatever the situation might be, and you get into a wreck. Those kind of things do happen. So, I've had some fun here at Indianapolis. Get to come back here for the Grand National Series, I believe, here in a couple weeks. So looking forward to coming back. We'll be in Chicagoland. We'll go up I-65 to, well, we won't stop in Gary. We'll go past it and go to Chicago and hit Chicagoland Speedway next week here for the Cup Series. So make sure you do check us out. Check out Sim500's website at sim500.com so you can be a part of tomorrow night, the debut of the, or at least 2023 debut of the Super Late Model Series, where they run super speedways and bigger tracks in a super late model. So you can get a part of that. You can go to sim500.com for that. I believe Thursday night, the start, if not the second race of the Cup Series for GOAT. So a lot of great racing going on in the Midnight Thunder Series. I actually got another top 10 in that series somehow. And, yeah, Wednesday night, Trans-Service Truck Series. You can be a part of that also. So many different options to check out. Big shout out to 811. Thank you, viewers, for watching here tonight. I know it wasn't the, wasn't the smoothest, but it worked out. We had fun tonight. That's all that matters to me. So thank you, viewers. Thank you, Kevin, as always, for joining us. And that was a lot of fun. Let's go eat some more Twizzlers, I guess. And always remember, this is just a game. It's iRacing. See ya.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory, yeah. Don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah.